16. So the assumption is that no one has any objections to the plan. So we're going to adapt that plan for 2016. That's someone has anything they want to share right now. Okay. So silence is, somebody says silence is affirmation, and sometimes silence is, I don't know, silence can be misleading. So I don't know, but I'm gonna assume, since no one has said anything, that, we're gonna follow the plan we have printed. The two ministries we're gonna talk about, I'm gonna share with you, and if you have any course or anything to add, then, of course, feel free to do so. The media ministry, don't have the media ministry listed in the membership booklet. Probably will, when we update it. But the media ministry is a integral part, of our, when we do. The media ministry, really started out being rooted in the, being using the screen, PowerPoint during worship service, and recording the worship service and sharing the recordings with other individuals. So, really has grown from there. And one thing I did say this morning is, I'm just so glad to see other brothers and sisters working in the ministry, media ministry. It is something to learn. It is something to learn. I remember one Sunday, I think it was Sunday night, had been during the gospel meeting. We didn't have anyone to run the screen with the song, and I said, well, I can do it, and never done it before, and it was a process, and and once you learn it, it's rewarding. It helps, the screen helps the service go smoother. It helps, when we see the songs, it helps us to look up, when we singing in worship service and so forth. So, if you haven't, found your place in it, and if you desire to, then feel free to do so. Other part of the media ministry is what Brother Jeremy is doing now, and that's the live streaming the services. That's been very useful to some individuals. I've gotten some messages and comments, regarding the live stream. There are some members of the church that not coming to church right now. I understand they're picking up the live stream. So it is, reaching some individuals. How many people? I really don't know. I don't have any statistics on it, but it is it's amazing. It really is amazing. And the recordings are on the website. It's posted in the bulletin. And take a look at it. I think the Black History Program is posted on the site. And if you need to know the address, just see Brother Jeremy. They give you the address, and it came out really well. The quality of it was very good. So the website, yes, sir.
Can I ask something real quick?
Mm-hmm.
But those who need help, I know a lot of us in here are seniors. So if you need hands-on help or whatnot, please don't hesitate getting with me. I really do mean that. And we get enough of you guys, we can maybe have a class where we can have some of the younger people be your guide and show you how to use it. I don't want you to be intimidated or not to use it because of age, or you can't break anything. So if you need help, please seek me out on that. And if enough of you guys want to do it, we come up here on a Saturday and we can have like a little workshop and to get you more familiar with it. So I really do want you all, if you have a desire to do it, I'll be willing to do that for you.
Right. That's fantastic. And and then you can direct individuals to the website.
Correct.
If they can't come to Bible class, if they can't come to worship service, then you can direct them to the website. Website has the evangelism lesson on it. It has the new convert lesson on it. It has the live stream lesson on it. It's developing into being a useful tool. And the more we use tools like this, and I hate to keep talking about money and so forth, but we try to be as cost effective as possible. But the reality is that things do cost money, and so as we have these tools, just keep in mind that we have to pay for them. So it just doesn't happen. A lot of things we do ourselves. A lot of companies, organizations pay companies to do the live stream, to do the website design. But we did all of that in-house. We didn't pay anyone. You just take a look at how much it costs to say, ooh, that is expensive. We just thank God for Brother Jeremy, being able to do it. It's a blessing. It really is a blessing. And we just have no idea how many people are actually seeing the Bible class, seeing the worship service. And it also gives individuals a view of what we do here at Kashmere. You invite people to come, and but sometimes individuals want to know what do we do? What do we like? So that media gives a view. It gives a view. And then we in the very near future, we want to develop a clerical ministry. Truth is, when I spoke to Sister Linda about this several months ago, where different clerical things are done, and it gives individuals an opportunity to be a part of the congregation, to do something, to be a part, and updating the website. That's something that's an ongoing task. Our Bible class ministry, Sister Woodard she's our main person to make sure we got our materials copied and distributed, so it's so much to be done. Make sure our Bible class material is our publications, whatever goes out from Kashmere Pilots, our response cards, our business package. All those things are being done, but we want to do them in a more organized way. And to give other individuals an opportunity to be creative, share their ideas, share their talents. When you just listen, I was listening to Bible class the other week, and Sister Brenda said, she talked about her music background. I had no idea she had a music background, but all of us have talents, all of us have things we can do, and to have opportunity to share. So we want to do that clerical ministry in the near future, the very near future. Now, we will Sunday have some the schedule out for the month of March. I said this morning, don't pick up. We have quite a bit to do this year, so March, we'll get started, and just pray we'll stay together, love each other, think I used the terminology relationship and resources. Got the proper resources, got the right relationship, you can get a lot done. You can have a lot of money, have a bad relationship, can't get anything done. You got the right relationship, got the right resources, it's a lot we can get done. And so doing things the best way is the most important thing. Knowing to having it in our mind to do the best thing the best way for everyone. And can't always do everything that we want to do, but we have to pick out what is the best thing to do and the best way to do it, and so God can be glorified. And now,
Brother Frazier, can I
yes,
make
sir.
one more comment, please?
Sure.
Also, the bulletin as well. That's an important part of the media as well. So, any of you guys have any ideas on that, please share those with us too as well. And also sending out the emails, informing of important events. All that is all intact with media.
Right.
Information sharing with the congregation. So, if you have any feedback on that, please let us know.
Absolutely. And that's really good. The email blast, the text blast, something happening, everybody gets a message about it. And, so we have to thank God for our various abilities and utilize them for God's glory.
Brother Frazier,
Yes, sir.
also remind them that sign out front
Yes, sir.
with everyone, if you have chance to read that and do what it says.
Right. The wording on the sign.
Make a friend, keep friends.
That's
I think that's really caught my eye. One day I was looking at that and I read that. I said, that's really a blessing.
That's right.
And if you do that, everything work out for you.
That's right. Anything else? Anything else? Before we get into the lesson, if you don't mind, turn over to page 52 in your booklet, and of course, we've talked about the excellency of knowledge, the power of wisdom, and so if you look at page 52 at the very bottom, it says inscription, and that's where we're going to be on this evening. Going over to Ecclesiastes chapter 7, and in verse number 22 through 29, Solomon makes a statement, and verse number 23. Okay, he says, "All this I tested by wisdom, and I said." He says, "All this I tested by wisdom," and when Solomon says, "All this I tested by wisdom," I'm reading from the New International Version. Why do you suppose Solomon uses the terminology tested? You're looking at the New King James Version. You see the term proved by wisdom. And that word proved or tested is a key word. All this I proved or tested by wisdom. Now, just to recap, and I'm really picking up as if we were just talking about this yesterday, but to recap, in verse number 15, he says, "I've seen everything in my days of vanity." You remember our discussion about how Solomon have experienced many things. They concluded that all is vanity and a vexation to his spirit. We need he lists some things in this chapter, and there are some things that he listed in previous chapters that he experienced, he possessed. One in this particular chapter that there is a just man who perishes in his righteousness, wicked man who prolongs life in his days. He's seen this. He's seen individuals do right and then perish. He's seen individuals do wrong and they live long and they have a lot. But he says, I've seen all of this in my days of vanity. And then he gives some advice. Remember we talked about how he gives some advice. Don't be overly righteous. Don't be overly wise. Why should you destroy yourself? And we talk about how he says, I've seen this, and now that I've seen it, here's what I suggest. Here's what I'm teaching. Here's what you do. So we have the knowledge, and then we share it. We have the knowledge, then we use it. Then we get down to verse 23. He says, all these things I've tested or proved by wisdom. Okay? How do you prove something? By wisdom. How do you prove something by wisdom?
He experienced it, didn't he?
He experienced it in what way?
He did it himself.
Okay, he did it himself. Okay. That's interesting. He did it himself. Okay, so let's see. In chapter 2 and chapter 3, Solomon says he experienced fire because he experienced it because he was looking to find out what it was like. So have you ever heard individuals use terminology like, you can't go through something for me, I have to go through it for myself. Okay. You might have heard you might have heard your kids say, Mom, I know you're telling me, Dad, I know you're telling me, but I got to see some things for myself. You ever use that terminology? Yeah. And so you go out and you experience things. And we experience things for various reasons. Sometimes we experience because we just want to know what it's like.
Right.
You ever heard folk use the terminology, I'm young, I just want to live. You ever heard that terminology? Just want to enjoy life. It's not anything learned, it's not anything to achieve, it's just to experience. Right? But now here Solomon says, I've proved all of these things by wisdom. Okay. So if I go out and do just anything, then you would say that doing anything is that wise or foolish? It's foolish. It's foolish. So if I do anything, then that's foolish. But he says I proved all these things by wisdom. So what's turning in your mind? He says I proved all of these things by wisdom.
Solomon done some foolish things before he gained wisdom. I mean, he did the foolish things, and then that's when the wisdom came in afterwards.
Okay, all right. He did some foolish things, and then the wisdom came after. True. That's true. Okay. So the wisdom comes. Then what? Solomon did some foolish things. Then came the wisdom. And after the wisdom comes, then what?
A change of heart. Change your
True.
mind.
Change of heart, change of mind. It's true. What else?
Say no.
Be wiser.
You're wiser. That's true. That's true. Okay. All right, here we go. You got baptized. Okay. The day you got baptized, was that a wonderful day?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So after you got baptized, you were a wonderful day. You remember the day after you got baptized?
No.
Don't remember the day you got baptized. The day after. Okay. Was it anything like the day before you got baptized?
I was happier myself.
You was happier the day after you got baptized.
Right.
Okay. Why?
I felt like I had done something right. I
Okay.
was headed in the right direction.
Okay. You were headed in the right direction. So when you got baptized, you didn't stop moving, did you?
No.
Didn't stop moving. You were still headed in a direction. You were headed in a direction before you got baptized. After you got baptized, you're still headed in a direction. But now your mindset is, I feel like I'm headed in the right direction. Okay. So while you're headed in the right direction, if any of the things that came at you before you got baptized come at you after you got baptized.
Even harder.
Even hard.
Yeah.
Even hard. Even hard. Right, okay. But now you're facing the things that came at you before with a different way. A different mindset. Okay. So Solomon says, okay, I prove these things by what?
I know it.
Okay, so I prove these things by wisdom. So in chapter go back up. Let's go back to chapter 2. Chapter 2. Look at chapter 2 and verse chapter 2 and verse 1. Let's see, let's read verse 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3.
I said in my heart, go to now, I will prove thee with mercy. Therefore enjoy pleasure, and behold, this also is vanity. I said of love, it is mad and of murder. What does it do? I sought in mine heart to give myself unto wine, yet acquaint mine heart with wisdom, and to lay hold on folly, till I might see what was that good for the Son of Man, which they should do under the heavens all the days of their life.
Okay, all right. So he says he's going to. He says in verse 1, what is he going to do with his heart? With murder. What should he say? With murder.
Yes.
All right. He says, I will test you with murder. I said in my heart, come now, I will test you with murder. Okay. All right. And so test you with murder. Therefore enjoy pleasure. I said in my heart, I will test you with mirth.
What is murder?
Therefore enjoy pleasure. Mirth. Test you with pleasure to find out what is good. Mirth is translated as pleasure. Okay, so in chapter 2, he says, "I will test you with pleasure." Okay. In chapter 7, he says, "All these things I prove by wisdom." Okay. All right, and then he says, "Found out in the habit." Okay. So So when we decide to follow God, when we decide to be Christians, okay, what set of eyes are we looking at? We're looking at the same thing that we looked at before we became Christians. Okay? But now that we become Christians, what set of eyes are we looking at these things through?
God's eyes.
God's eyes.
Spiritual eyes.
Okay, all right.
Give a whole new perspective.
Okay, right. So now, okay, so here's what I want you to get. But before I become a Christian, and the day after I become a Christian, the things that I face don't change.
Right.
Okay? They don't change. And I'm not telling you this like you don't know it. I'm reminding you of this. Because Solomon says, I said in my heart, come now, I will prove you with pleasure. So whatever he's facing it through the eyes of what? Pleasure. He says, I just want to have a good time. I just want to experience life. Okay? But now that he has made that transition from being the king or the person to the preacher, he says, now I'm looking at it through another set of eyes.
Right.
There's wisdom. Okay? All right, now watch this. Watch this phrase. I'll see if y'all getting this. He says in verse number 20, in verse number 23, is it 23?
Yeah.
Let me get back to it.
All this I have proved by wisdom. I said I would be wise, but it was far from me.
All right. Here it is. I said I determined to be wise, but this was beyond me. Okay. All right. So now I'm looking at everything through another set of eyes.
Right.
Not pleasure no more.
Right.
Looking at it through wisdom. Okay. And I concluded that wisdom was far from me. Okay. Now, what do you suppose Solomon is trying to do? All right, so if I'm looking at things through the eyes of wisdom, okay, and wisdom is far from me, okay, then what does that mean? If I'm looking at it through the eyes of wisdom, if I can see how things are supposed to be, but it's far from me, what does that say?
That I don't.
Okay, all right. Let me give you an example. If you have a puzzle, okay, all right, and on the front of the box is the picture of what the puzzle looks like when all the pieces are together. Okay? So you have the picture. You have the view of the way it's supposed to look. But in front of you, it's all of the pieces separated.
Right.
They're all separated. Okay? So, and you are having trouble. You've got the picture. But every time you pick up a piece and you try to put it together, it don't fit.
You see the big picture, but you don't have capacity, foresight, wisdom, to be able to put it all together.
Okay, okay. So I'm looking at all of these separated pieces with this big picture in mind.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to fit those. And every now and then, I'll find a piece that fits. Okay. So what does that say? What do you say about yourself as you try to put that puzzle together?
It's not within myself to do it independently of God.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Look. Okay. Look at verse number 27. Read verse 27.
Behold, this have I found, said the preacher, counting one by one to find out the account.
Okay. All right. He says, I'm adding one thing to another. I'm putting it together.
One by one.
Right. Trying to figure out. What is he trying to figure out? What do you think he's trying to figure out? I'm going to fast forward you. Fast forward you. Okay, here we go. Chapter 12. Okay. And verse 1. Okay. Here's the passage we quoted to our children. And remember now, thy creator is the what? The days of thy youth. And what did Solomon do in his younger years? That's right. I said in my heart, I'm going to test my heart by pleasure. But when you get to chapter 12, he says, remember your creator in the days of your youth. Okay. All right. So now he's, what's the big picture?
You don't waste it all.
You don't waste your time.
Okay, now one, you don't waste your time. You should give your time and energy to God and you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What is?
Time brings about a change if you're wise enough to see it.
Okay, time brings about change. If you're wise enough to see it. True. He's going to say, here's the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God, keep his commandments. Fearing God and keeping his commandments is something that you practice when? In your youth.
That's right.
In your youth. Okay, so he says, look, says the teacher, this is what I have discovered. Adding one thing to another, to discover the scheme of things. While I was still searching, but not finding, I found one man among 1,000, but not one woman among them all. This only have I found. Okay? God made mankind what? Upright. God made us upright.
That's right.
Okay? God made us upright. Okay? But men have gone in search of many schemes. Which means what? God made us upright. But we have,
Taking the wrong road.
that's right, we've fallen.
Right.
He made us upright.
Right, but we traveled the wrong road.
Right. So he's trying to find out, how did this happen? How did I fall? How did I come to go the opposite direction? Okay. And so that's why you go back and look at him saying wisdom is power. Okay. It's the power to stay upright.
That's it.
The way God made us.
Yeah.
Right? With the knowledge, when I gain the knowledge and then I practice the knowledge to gain wisdom, that's going to keep me what? Upright. Upright. That makes sense to you? Because and that's his search. Look at, yes, ma'am.
When did Solomon come to recognize that he had fallen? After he got older, he didn't see it in his young years, or did he see it as he matured in life?
I think he's telling us in the chapter how, you know, the things that he saw.
Oh,
He says, I've seen, you know, I've seen individuals labor, and then die. And I've seen guys not labor, and they die. So, you know, if I have a lot, I'm gonna die. If I don't have a lot, I'm gonna die. But his problem is, I'm the king, and I can tell individuals to go and do, and they're gonna do what I say. There's something I don't have any control over. And when he saw individuals die, you know,
That's what
and,
changes all.
right, you know, and then he started seeing individuals. You talked about the chapter where he said, I see individuals oppressed, and they don't have anybody to speak up for them. You know, so as he began to see these things, he said, there's something wrong. You know, it's hard to handle all of this by yourself. I'm seeing stuff, and it's in my human reasoning, it's not adding up. You work hard, you make a good living, then you die, and you leave it to someone else, and then they throw it away. You know, that's not adding up. And so as he saw these things, that's when he began to consider. Okay, so what's his out? Are these things changing?
No.
So what is his out? Where is his peace? In God. Knowing that what I can't control, God can control. Okay. So look at page 52. Anybody got any other? Solomon tried to understand his fall. See that in page 52, the first sentence. Solomon tried to understand his fall. Okay. Where the idea of the fall come from? But he said to the left, God made man upright. He made man upright. But okay, so let's go back to the beginning thought. He says, all this I've tested by wisdom. Okay, so he's not looking at his experiences through the eyes of pleasure now. Same things, you know. If Solomon had many women before he made the transition, that doesn't mean that he didn't see women anymore. But now he's looking at things through a different set of eyes. Same thing applies to us. Before we become Christians, we have temptations. After we become Christians, we have temptations. Okay? Temptations don't change, but we face them with a different. Paul says, "If any man be in Christ, he's a new creation." 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17. Old things have passed away, all things. Paul talks about how he brings his every thought into captivity, makes it subject unto Christ. Okay, so we're looking at things through different set of eyes. Okay, now give me an example. Give me an example of how you view things differently. Because I gave you remember I gave you a homework assignment? Y'all remember that? Anybody? How do you, give me an example of how you view things differently. I've heard practically everybody in here, practically everybody, I heard you make this statement. Years ago, if they had approached me like that, I would have went off. Okay, so can you think of an instance where someone was offensive to you, and if you were faced with that same situation today, you would approach it probably differently.
Right, you would.
Can anybody have an example?
Okay, a young man uses foul language down the hall, and I say to him, "Watch your language." You know, he turns around and he says it again and walks a little further and say it again. Okay, so I started to follow him, and then I said, "I'm not gonna do that." So maybe 2 or 3 months later, who walks in my office needing something? But that same young man that was using all that foul language. And that was the first thought that popped in my head. So the old Linda would have said, "What you coming in here for?" You know? When you're doing all that cursing up and down the hall, you know, you couldn't listen to me or whatever. So I said, "Come on in, baby, have a seat. How can I help you?" And he brought his little friend with him because he really thought, you know, he was just really fixing to get it. So he said, I said, "Have a seat." He sat down and he started telling me what he needed and all of that. So I went through and I explained it all to him and told him how he could work out his situation. And then afterwards I said, you know, I remember an incident that maybe you remember, maybe you don't. And he just dropped his head. And I said, what you did wasn't right that day, he said. And he just started explaining, but I'm a different person now, Ms. Reynolds. I really am. I'm a different person now. And I know I was wrong or whatever. I said, but what if I had reacted like you reacted? Would you have gotten what you needed today? Talking about, no ma'am. And I'm going to say I'm sorry. And I promise you, you're not going to see me doing that anymore.
Beautiful.
Right.
So it was a different situation because I can remember the day I would have followed him and even gotten the assistance of a police officer in the building, you know, if he refused, but I didn't do that.
Isn't that beautiful? Eyes of wisdom. Eyes of wisdom. Right. And so not only, you know, is it beautiful that the outcome came out the way it did, but the beauty is in trusting wisdom prior to, you know, and it was kind of like that's an example of what I was trying to say Sunday, that you master your moods by acting your way into feeling rather than feeling your way into acting. Right. Because if you did what you felt like doing, then you probably wouldn't have done the right thing. Right. But you act your way into feeling. And that sounds a little when I was looking at that terminology, because the first thing that came to, well, bro, I can't fake it, you know. And the thought of faking comes in when you're about acting your way into feeling. I can't fake it, you know. I just gotta do what I feel. But you know, it's like Jesus says, "Let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, let not my will, but thy will be done. So what is he doing? He's putting his feelings aside, and then he's same way with the devil. You know, the devil says, turn this stone into bread. He's been fasting for 40 days and 40 nights. Man, look, if you haven't eaten for 40 days, listen, you are in a frantic state. You know, you remember the episode where Saul told the Israelites they could not eat until they captured the Philistines. You remember what happened? And Saul sinned against God. The men, when they did capture them, they lunged on the meat and ate it without cooking it. They were that hungry. Y'all remember that? Okay. And so that was one of the sins that Saul committed. 3 sins that Saul committed that caused God to reject him as king. That was one of them. Can you imagine guys that hungry? You know, it's like you going to the refrigerator, man, I ain't cooking this chicken, I'm just going to go and eat it. You know, have you ever been that hungry? You ain't fasted before today. Before tonight. We'll skip lunch. How many hours is that? 8 hours? You know, we'll wait for something to get cooked, but man, look, when you ain't eating for days, yeah, that's a different story. And so, acting your way into your feelings. So that's beautiful. But now, here's the thing. When you test an experience by wisdom, what do you do? What are you doing? You're proving it. You're laying you on one side and wisdom on the other side. Okay? And when you lay yourself alongside of wisdom, what do you see? Am I meeting God's expectations, or am I falling short? I'm falling short. I'm falling short. I'm falling short. And that's what Solomon. So he says, I found one man among 1,000, but not one woman among them all. Now that's another discussion. Solomon says he didn't find one upright woman. And some individuals say that Solomon had come to the conclusion, somebody said Solomon had come to the conclusion that all women were no good. But of course, you know, that's not true. No. That's not true. The idea I found one man among 1,000 carries the idea that it's not many of us who are able to say, I'm meeting God's expectations. Okay. And so the idea of proving by wisdom, and this is where, you know, James talked about, you know, looking into the perfect law of liberty, you know, and not being a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the word. So I look at the word of God, I see where I'm falling short, and then what do? You know, I start trying to correct. That's the idea of I tested all these things by what? By wisdom. When I test something by wisdom, that means that I look at God's wisdom and I look at me. And the first conclusion I come to is that I don't what? I don't measure up. Okay. And then the power of wisdom is when I'm able to say, okay, I'm going to take what God says over what I am
Right.
and what I feel.
But why should I go to that measure? Why can't I just go from wisdom on, you know, from the first, if I'm a Christian, my first thought is to look at it through God's eyes instead of my eyes. Because I'm fighting, I can't do two. One is enough. I'm supposed to let me over there somewhere when I, you know, was baptized. So from then on, when I was raised up, as I learned, I'm supposed to be looking at it through God's eyes. See, that's the problem. You got two. You know, you can't, you either do one or the other. Wisdom through God's eyes at every cost. Because if I think before me, then I might not get to wisdom. See, wisdom has got to pop up first if I'm a Christian. Because this world is so wicked. People are wicked. People say stuff, do stuff. So you have to think wisdom first. You know, myself, I should have been putting myself to the side a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Because if I had thought about myself first, then I might not get the wisdom. But if I'm in the Word, I'm studying every day, coming, you know, so I should think from then on what God would do at this point. To think of what Linda would do, because Linda already knows what she would do. So, but I'm a Christian now.
Right.
So I'm changed. I have to change the way I think. I have to change the way I do things. You know, because otherwise we fighting two spirits. We can't do both. We might as well just stay in the world. You know what I'm saying? So why should I still bring over the old Linda Whitney with wisdom? I can't, I have to leave that alone. See, that's the problem. We got that still hanging around. And then the first thing come up is that old person instead of the new person, which you should have been doing, you know, since 40 years ago. You still got that person still with you. You know what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but it's two things. You use two words that are key. One is suppose. Suppose. We're supposed to. Okay? But see, but now here's where the suppose comes in. You remember, Solomon says in chapter 2, I said in my heart, I will test by mirth. Okay? And so
that was in his old way.
Well, hold on a second. Remember, I said before we become Christian,
Right.
we have temptation.
Right.
After we become Christian, we still have temptation. Okay, now watch this. Watch this.
Okay.
Watch this.
Okay.
But after I become a Christian, I'm going to have the same kind of temptations. But I've got to face my temptations through the eyes of wisdom.
This is what I'm telling you.
Now the old man is that person that what we were before we became Christian.
Right.
But now, just because the old man goes away, doesn't mean the temptation goes away. I'm still gonna have to face those
But the
temptations.
temptation is gonna always be there.
Yeah, and
But
whenever
the wisdom is gonna help me not to go there.
right, whenever temptation shows up, we go through the same process. And that's why he says, I'm putting it together piece by piece. Because Solomon says, I was placed where I am by God.
Right.
God made us to be upright.
Right.
But in the process of time, I failed.
Right.
Okay, so now he's going back trying to visualize, how did this happen? I'm where God wants me to be, but I didn't stay there. Same problem with a Christian. When I become a Christian, I'm clean. All my sins are washed away. He's made me right in his eyesight. But do I stay there? No, I don't stay there. So what process do I go through to continue to try to be where God wants me to be?
It's looking through his eyes.
Okay, so the process of looking at it through his eyes is what?
It's trying, keeping it in front of your mind.
Keeping what in front of
The
you?
word.
The word and what is? The word and what is?
The faith of God, the truth.
The word, the wisdom, that's the word. But you too.
Yeah.
You gotta look at the word and you gotta look at you. If we confess, listen, if we confess
I
our
know
sin,
me.
no, I'm not saying that we don't know
Oh, okay.
us. I'm not saying we don't know us.
Yeah.
See, we know a lot of stuff that we don't face. So I can know that my car ain't running right
Right.
and never go look under the hood.
But no, I'm not gonna do that.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm just saying that we know stuff that we don't face. All of us are guilty of that. We don't face everything.
But me, and for me, I'm saying, and you can say, but I'm telling you that me, I face it.
Okay.
Because facing it is gonna fix it.
Okay.
You know, I'm not gonna, not facing it is not gonna fix it, but facing it is gonna, whatever temptation comes, I'm gonna look on the right side of that temptation. To see how I can come out on the right side of wisdom that God has taught me.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm not gonna, I'm just gonna look on that side anyway. You know.
And that's what Solomon is teaching here.
Right, at the end he's teaching that. Actually
right here in the last part, he says, God made man upright.
Yeah, he did.
But the reality is that man goes after other schemes. That's the reality. God made us upright.
Yeah.
But in the process of time, we have a tendency to go in other directions. And when I'm tempted to go in a direction other than God's direction, that's when I'm supposed to not look at it from the eyes of pleasure,
Right.
but the eyes of wisdom.
That's what I'm talking
And face who I am, and face who God is, and understand that I can't be the upright person that God wants me to be.
That's right.
Unless I take His word over what I feel.
That's exactly right.
You know, Brother Frazier, I know we passed time. I just thought about a passage, and I thought about the Apostle Paul, and he, I think it's in Galatians, when he said, the things that I should do, I end up not doing. And the things that I shouldn't do, those are the things that I seem to gravitate to. So what he's saying, we're always warring. The flesh is warring. The flesh and the spirit is at war. And we need to understand that. That's why, again, he's telling the church in Ephesus, we have to put on the whole armor. To be able to war against, not amongst ourselves, we're not the enemy. But we have to war against Satan and his strategies, his fiery darts.
Right, and that's true. We have to remember that we are in the war. In that chapter, you're referring to Romans chapter 7. I think in verse 24, he says, "Oh wretched man, oh diseased man." He's diseased because every time I know to do good, I don't do it because evil is present with me. He says, "Oh wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from this body of death?" I thank God. He begins to thank God for Jesus because Jesus is our deliverer. So the bright side, sister, let me use the terminology, the bright side of our temptation is that we have deliverance through Jesus. Paul says in 2 Timothy 4, verse 18, "My God shall deliver me from every evil work." I have deliverance.
Yes.
But now, you don't have deliverance. I have the opportunity to be delivered. But I don't have deliverance unless I face who I am. And so 1 First John chapter 1 and verse number 10, he says, if we say we have no sin, we deceive ourselves. So you can't ever have the deliverance unless you face where you are. And that's what Solomon had to do. That's the big, that is the big picture there. That he went through the process of facing who he was. I'm king, I'm powerful, I have everything. But then when you look on the inside, am I really what God wants me to be? And that's what he started working on as he got older. And so we don't ever, and that should be our prayer. You know, even when we pray publicly, we ought to start asking Lord, help us to see ourselves.
Amen.
We'll pray for everybody, you know, Lord bless the sick. And there's nothing wrong with Lord bless and healing the sick. But we need some prayer.
That's right.
So Lord, help me see me. Help me work out some things that I know I need to work out. Don't ignore them. Don't, cast them aside. So I can have some peace in my heart.
That's right.
Because you can have stuff going on all around you and still have some peace in your heart. So, okay, we're going to be ready to do the review questions on page 53 on next Wednesday.
Good evening, brothers and sisters.
Good evening.
Thank God for another opportunity to come out and study yet another portion of His Word. Best thing to be doing on a Wednesday evening. I know you all are enjoying it just as I am enjoying it. It was a little late, but hey, we made it just in time. We have the food pantry this weekend, this Saturday, and we also have Brookdale this Sunday. So if you can come out for that, come out. It's two good works that's been presented before us, so come out and sharing the love and sharing the fellowship in both of those ministries. We also have that should be it. That should be our brothers and sisters classes for training Sunday also, Sunday morning. So come out for that, be on time for that Sunday morning. We also have, we won't start the young men's this week, right? This Sunday, be March, the fourth Sunday in March. All right. Gotcha. All right. We'll continue to pray for Sister Kyle's, lift up prayer on her behalf for God to continue to bless her health and everything. Continue to pray for Sister Osborne, her health and everything that's going on around her residents and everything. That God will continue to protect her therein. Continue to lift up prayer for Brother and Sister Roberts. Continue to pray for Sister Betty Hawkins. That God will continue to bless her and touch her health right where she is. And continue to give thanks for Sister Celestine and Sister